Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Film Seizure. I am your co-host, Jason Oliver, and with me, as always, I have the first and second victims, Jeff Arbuckle. How are you?
Doing good.
And our second victim, Chuck Moore. How are you doing over there?
Molto bene.
Oh, he's learning Italian.
He's learning Italian.
He's learning Italian.
He started today. Yep. He started today to learn Italian. Seriously.
I don't even know if that's right, but it sounds right.
It sounds pretty good.
Sounds
good.
good.
I wouldn't have known. And I would have guessed he was saying, "How are you?" or something like that.
Very good.
Very good.
Very
It's
good.
very good.
Very good. Okay, so what week of December is this?
Well, we're right before Christmas. This is our Christmas gift to you.
Yeah, couldn't be a more Christmassy movie than this.
It's something.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. It's something.
Our present to you all is 1965's The 10th Victim.
This is our gift to you. Utter and total confusion, except for from one person on this show.
It is bug nuts bonkers. The 10th Victim.
Bug
it
nuts
is
bonker. Well, there is a bug nut in this.
There is kind of a bug nut in this.
Yeah.
This is an Italian-French co-production, but it is in Italian. It
is extremely Italian.
Yeah, and it's extremely Italian for early, like crazy Italian cinema because it kind of takes place in a weird transitional period for Italian film because you've kind of like you're emerging out of kind of Fellini's neorealist kind of filmmaking, right?
Listen to this guy over here.
Well, I guess it's more like his realist period, and Fellini has started kind of making these big lavish kind of abstract productions, and of course you have the lead in this is I'm gonna pronounce a lot of Italian poorly, just to let you know. But I'm going to pronounce his full name first because I think it's really fun. Marcello Vincenzo Domenico Mastrioni.
That's not bad.
Not bad. That's all right. It's all right.
But Marcello Mastrioni was kind of he was made famous. I would say probably made famous because of Fellini. The films 8.5 and La Dolce Vita were hugely popular films all around the world.
Were they not mentioned in this movie?
Probably.
I think they were. At one point, when they were watching him, the American film crew was saying something about 8.5 and Fellini.
Well, I think he also said his 8. Oh, yeah. Well, he might have been talking about the shooting location.
Okay. There you go. There it is.
So it's a little bit meta there.
There it is.
Yeah. But yes, he would have been. He at the time when this movie came out, Marcello was a humongous fucking star.
Yeah.
Not just in Italy, but in Europe and in the US. So right off the bat, you've kind of got this weight to this lead character, right? Yeah. The director even was kind of on the cusp of greatness. What's his name? Hold on. Elio Petri. He eventually won the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 1972, and he also won Best Foreign Picture at the Academy Awards in 1971 for a movie you might have heard of, Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion. Yes.
I have not.
Jeff's not heard of it.
Okay.
I mean, okay. No, I mean, Chuck,
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
I've not seen it either.
But it's a title.
I am behind on this one, guys.
It's a title I'm familiar with.
I thought this was going to be a Lucio Fulci gouging eyeballs out kind of crazy Italian.
Well, it's on that precipice, right?
Right.
It is.
Sure.
It is.
I mean, there's no eyeball gouging.
I'm talking about pedigree here of like serious Italian film, but then you're also kind of on the brink of, well, really kind of about to start the era of the spaghetti western. You're probably moving out of the peplum period of filmmaking, the gladiator films, right? Which is, this in a way is a gladiator film, right?
Well, there's a whole
literal
scene.
gladiator scenes in it.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. So I think in a way it's kind of a commentary on that type of film as well, which was very popular at the time, but kind of losing popularity.
Tell me, Chuck, do you like gladiator films?
Never seen a grown man naked.
There we go. That's something I know. Not, I mean, the airplane. Oh my god.
Well, I
never
mean,
mind.
this is satire too, right? Just
Yeah.
like just like Airplane. So
This is satire all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is.
There's a lot. This
dense.
is an onion.
Uh-huh.
We're peeling back onions.
But what I think I should mention before we get into it is that its pedigree goes back to The Most Dangerous Game. If you want to go all the way back, it's not its original source material, but that's where it kind of came from.
Hang on a second here. This is interesting. This is a nice little what's the word I'm looking for?
Segue?
No, intersection. We've got Most Dangerous Game, which is your expertise, Jason, or becoming your expertise.
I would say, yes.
We've got Ursula Andress, which is
You would
Bond.
you would love to be an expert in as well.
Well, sure, but from the Bond series, and we've got an Italian movie, which is Chuck's thing.
It's a perfect storm.
Perfect storm of a movie. Yeah,
and it is bonkers.
And I think we're all still a little bit confounded. We're gonna each give each other a little piece of the puzzle. How about that?
Okay.
But yes, it goes back to The Most Dangerous Game, which was a short story by Richard Connell back in 1924, and then made into a movie in 1932. Kind of famous for, really, for kicking off a whole genre of film, but also for shooting on the same stages as King Kong.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those two movies, and Fay Wray is in both movies. I mean, is the guy who plays the guy the other star the lead Joel McRae. Is he in King Kong?
No, there's another guy that's
It's not
move
the Count,
along.
is it?
Huh?
I don't.
Yeah, move along.
Oh, we're moving along. But
I'll look it up.
but then in 50 something or other, I'm checking notes. 1953, Robert Sheckley wrote a short story called Seventh Victim. And Seventh Victim is what this is directly based on. They changed the title. They changed around a little bit of the lead character. They kind of swapped some story elements. But for all intents and purposes, it's based on the Seventh Victim by Robert Sheckley, 1953, which is, you could say, the father of the game show version of The Most Dangerous Game.
Like The Running Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Directly influenced The Running Man, which it's almost crazy to me that The Running Man, the short story nor the movie pay any credit to Robert Sheckley, because it's fucking Robert Sheckley.
Is he English or American?
He's American.
Okay.
And I guarantee you Stephen King read Robert Sheckley. Robert Sheckley was famous sci-fi writer all the way until the day he died, really. He wrote for Deep Space Nine even. He wrote novels based on Deep Space Nine. Yeah.
Well,
Star Trek Deep Space Nine, to be specific. Yeah.
I think most people will probably recognize. I mean, you could have just said DS9, probably.
And he also wrote. I could have, yeah. And he also wrote novelizations based in the Alien universe.
It's very possible though that Stephen King was railing, and probably forgot to put the credit.
To quote a recent movie, not to quote it, but to reference a recent movie, he probably wrote the song "Eat It." And maintain that it was original work.
Right, yeah.
That's unlike King though, because he usually does give credit.
I know. I haven't looked. I haven't researched enough to see if he's acknowledged the influence. I'm sure he has somewhere.
He had some interesting years though, where I'm sure some things like that could slip his mind.
Yeah, right. But it's kind of a biggie. And then it became a really big hit for Sheckley too, to the point where he turned the short story into several novels. He made the short story novel length, and then he made sequels to the novel. And then he also wrote another short story a few years later, in 1958, called Prize of Peril, which is again kind of like that game show aspect of The Running Man, but that Prize of Peril is actually what inspired The Running Man. So let's make this a little more clear. The Seventh Victim gave way to the movie we're talking about, 10th Victim, but his later story, 1958, Prize of Peril, is really what would be the inspiration for The Running Man, where you have kind of like a character who is hunted by many, and literally broadcast on television for the masses. The seventh victim is a little different. The 10th victim is a little different. It's not really a television show, although corporate entities are figuring out a way to tap into the phenomenon.
Commodify the phenomenon.
Right.
By way of 100 million viewers.
Right.
There's actually even a Doctor Who serial in the 80s that touches upon the idea of televised execution. Not the same thing. There's not a chase. There wasn't time to go into that part of it, but it was like, no, people tune in for the nightly execution of the enemies of the state. And stuff like that, where it's like, the fascination of watching people die. I mean, like, we are fascinated by morbid shit as a people, and a lot of that probably started, after this movie, but, probably started with the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that television, for the first time we were really seeing it on TV, yeah. I should mention, too, that Douglas Adams counts Sheckley as an inspiration as well.
So real quickly, Stephen King admitted to reading The Prize of Peril or Prize of
Peril. That's right.
Prize of Peril.
Yep.
And then said he'd call Sheckley to work it out. And Sheckley said he was satisfied with the conversation with King. So King may have inadvertently stolen the premise, but he called Sheckley and got permission, essentially.
Yeah, talk to him. Like Weird Al, he was like, I'm writing a parody. Is it okay with you?
Yeah.
A lot of Weird Al references today. Must be on the brain.
It must be on the brain. Must be the...
That's weird.
Yeah.
I should mention, too, that really there were only about... Well, not only. Most Dangerous Game came out in 1932, and there were, by the time this came out, at least 3 more adaptations of The Most Dangerous Game that had come out. There was A Game of Death, which is almost a direct remake by the same studio, RKO, in 1945. And then you had Run for the Sun, which is a very loose remake, but still credits The Most Dangerous Game as its source material. And then you have a few in there that kind of have play with similar manhunt type situations, but nothing really. Well, Bloodlust would be the third, I guess. That came out right before this. That was kind of like a teen drive-in type movie.
That was a Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie. That's Robert Reed.
So those were the 3 that were based directly on The Most Dangerous Game, and then came The 10th Victim, which of all the ones before, it's very different, but you could definitely say it has some direct ties.
Oh, sure. The whole concept of, it's people hunting each other, and and there is a rules to the to the game, and to what the goal is, and you're the hunted, and when
you think about all of the dystopian type films that deal with that type of premise, even up into current films today, like the Purge series, it kind of started here. It took an idea, a kernel of an idea of this hunting for sport, but turned it into like this new gladiatorial dystopian society.
Well, it's sponsored by the governments of the world.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to be utopia. Because
it's right. It's supposed to be.
Yeah,
but most utopians aren't.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, we're recording this a couple of weeks early, but I suspect we could, if we would have recorded this a couple of weeks later, we would be talking about the menu also being.
Oh yes.
So
yes, I'm anxiously awaiting to see.
I got my ticket.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah,
I've heard good things.
So
we're also post midterm election, so. As of the airing, but I'm sure there's some dystopian comments that we could be making.
Everything has started. We're sure of it, but we just haven't actually lived it yet. This may be ghostly or something. I don't know. Maybe we got purged.
I don't have it off the top of my head, but another kind of source material I should mention, it would be Shirley Jackson's The Lottery, because that's another one.
I thought about The Lottery earlier. Yeah,
that's another one that I think that you get a little bit of in this, because And of course, the lottery. I don't know how many people really give it its due for inspiring the Hunger Games, but it most definitely is
Right.
the fucking Hunger Games.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still the concept of trimming the fat on society of some sort.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
hell, another one that is would have some sort of connection to some of these could even be Soylent Green. The idea of shaving off the oldest of society so that the more productive can live more comfortably.
I mean, we've got it all.
Well, it's in
right?
this. It's in this movie. Yeah.
I mean, Logan's Run is in this movie, basically, right?
Right.
Marcello's parents are being hidden, basically behind a wall, because they're supposed to be turned into the state. They don't say it outright, but you assume for execution because they're now a burden on society, right?
Too old to contribute.
Yeah, it's the giver. It's all of those. It's Logan's Run. It's all there. There's also this sense of overpopulation. Why worry about what is? I'm gonna have to paraphrase the slogan, but why worry about having more children when you can just kill more people?
Right. Why worry about the birth rates when you can increase
the death rates? Yep. There you go.
So and which is interesting because it's like this is a good-looking world. Everything about this world is something that you would think might be fun to live in, except that you could be walking down the street and get a stray bullet. From a hunt.
Yeah, it seems like friendly fire is a problem in this world.
Well, but it isn't because we never see it.
True.
I mean, there was one person who confused the last name and got 30 years, but that's the penalty. I mean, and if you think about it, it's like, it's actually kind of like you shoot the wrong person or you kill somebody who isn't your hunter.
Yeah.
If you're a victim, if you're a designated victim, then you get 30. There's no trial.
No,
it's 30 years.
It's 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years in prison. Yeah, you fucked up. You play the game. You play by the rules.
Right.
So we should probably talk about what the movie is and what the rules are. We've alluded to a lot of influences, but we haven't really talked about what the 10th Victim is all about. It takes place in a globalist future world.
This is the world the Clintons want.
Yeah. The New World Order. But there does seem to be like still localized rules and laws because the game is played worldwide, but each country, even each municipality has their own rules governing how the game can be played.
In Italy, you can't shoot in a school.
Yeah.
Can't shoot in a bar.
No nursery school, no bars.
No nursery school, no bar. But in the United States, open.
It's wide open.
Open.
That's a pretty good joke for 1965 too.
Right.
I mean, that hits home hard now.
Right.
It's almost like the way people talked about smoking.
Yeah.
When smoking started being removed from bars and places and you had to go outside, like people were all like, well, now I can't smoke in a bar anymore. But
there's one place you can go and you can smoke, the casino.
Yeah, you can smoke in a casino.
Yeah. Because if you're already gambling, I mean, you're already living a life of vice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, you're not getting up from the fucking table. Not when you're on the street.
Right.
You're stuck.
No.
They want you there.
They want you there. Yeah. There's no going outside taking a break. So yes, there is but there is a worldwide game that is voluntary.
The Big Hunt.
The Big Hunt, correct. And it has its own agency in every country.
The Department of the Big Hunt.
The Department of the Big Hunt. That's very, very well named. Yep.
Yep. It's like the BMV.
Yes.
And you can sign up voluntarily to participate in the Big Hunt. And you will participate in 10 hunts. 5 as the hunter, 5 as the prey.
And it goes back and forth.
And you alternate. Correct.
Right.
And if you win all 10 hunts, which only 15 people have ever done, which seems like a lot, to be honest.
Well, I don't know how long this has been going.
True. I mean, they're into the hundreds of thousands as far as
right. So I mean, like
go.
we don't know. I mean, we have to assume that this is a near future sort of thing. Everything looks like Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
Where it's a little too clean for what it's the facade of this kind of clean, nice little utopia, but underneath they've got apes as slaves someplace.
It's someplace.
And Ricardo Montalban is not happy about
work.
it. Yeah.
I forget what do you call it if you win all
The
10 hunts?
Decaton?
The decaton or
The
something.
Decaton.
Yeah, Decaton. Yep.
And what do you win?
You win $1 million and also special prizes.
It's special prizes. You're a millionaire and you are removed, so you can't be hunted anymore.
Correct. You're out. You're out.
You retire. It's forced retirement.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and then the other rules of the big hunt is if you are the hunter, you know everything about your victim. You know their name, you know where they live, you know their telephone number, you know everything. Whatever is known to the state is known to you.
But if you're the victim, you only know that you are a victim today.
Right. That you are being hunted. That's all you know. So if you're a victim, obviously this is a lot harder. You have to determine who's trying to kill you and kill them first without knowing who they are until they essentially make their move, right?
Right.
But if you're wrong and you kill the wrong person who you think is hunting you, 30 years in prison. That's it. Going straight to prison.
No, you go straight to, don't collect your $200. You're going to prison.
So it sucks. It sucks to be the victim.
But it's only every other time.
It's only every. So, you only have to win 5 times.
You only have to do that 5 times. I'm sure that's not stressful whatsoever.
And for each individual win, you also win a prize. You get prize money. So how the movie opens is we have a man chasing a woman through the streets. I think it's supposed to be in New York, right?
Yes. It is New York.
And he's chasing her through the streets. He thinks this is his victim, but there's been kind of a trick played on him. Like he's hunting someone that he thinks is his victim, but in reality, she lures him to a club. And when he sees who she really is, he's like, "Oh shit, you're not who I'm supposed to be killing." But the person he's supposed to be killing has set a trap, and the person he's supposed to be killing is Ursula Andress.
With her machine gun jubblies.
Yes.
With her machine gun jubblies.
Yes. Describe the scene here.
Well, one thing, it is Ursula Andress running through the opening credits. She's just wearing a brown
she's
wig.
wearing the brown wig. Yeah,
but you're right. This is a trap. This is cunning. She is pretty good at what she does.
Yeah.
Because this is her 9th victory.
Yes.
So, she's going for the $1 million. It has to be said like that every time.
It does have to be said like that.
So yeah, she's and she is luring him. I mean, she is like, we joked, it's like, come on, keep running, don't stop and turn back to make sure he's still following and shooting at you. But it's purposeful.
Yeah.
She has to make sure he's still coming, or the trap doesn't work.
Right.
Exactly. And again, this is a scenario because they go into this weird futuristic strip club like burlesque joint where everybody's sitting on cubes. Cubes are a big deal.
Well, this is the Big Hunt Club.
That's right. And and you can kill there at
the Big Hunt Club
in America.
Yes.
You can't do that in Italy.
Well,
they say you can't do it in Italy.
Yeah, you can't shoot at the Big Hunt
That's
Club.
right, but the Big Hunt Club has got those 2 people fighting to the death.
Yeah.
So
well,
maybe you can sanction other death matches at the Big Hunt Club.
Maybe. I mean, that may be like a bum fight.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, like a bum fight.
And they're just like, hey, whoever wins this gets a few bucks.
But they're right. They do make a point of saying that in Italy you cannot.
So if they were at the Hunt Club, they were safe in Italy, but not in the United States. Because everything is open in the United States. And so, like the guy follows her in and then realizes, oh, there's like a thing going on here.
Yeah.
And so he relaxes and out comes Ursula Andress in potentially in a state of undress.
Yeah. Ursula undress.
Exactly.
She's wearing a mask.
She's wearing a mask, and she's wearing a corset that the guy takes off, and then she says, "Take off my mask," and that's when he realizes,
Yeah.
I'm screwed, and then she shoots him with her machine gun bra.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Direct Austin Powers reference.
Yes.
Well, yes.
A reference is made in Austin Powers directly to
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
Yes.
It is the inspiration.
Yeah, it's definitely one of a few. I would say the guy saying $1 million is also from it. Yeah.
Mike Myers probably loves this movie.
Probably.
Oh, surely.
The whole aesthetic of like the 60s in Austin Powers is very much the aesthetic of the 60s in this movie.
Yeah, it's super mod.
Yeah. Yep.
It is. It's the. There was a time from about the mid 60s until Star Wars where the future looked like this to people.
Right.
Everything was broken down geometrically.
Uh-huh.
It was white. It was clean. It was
None of the furniture was comfortable.
none of the furniture could be comfortable whatsoever.
Usually didn't have backs.
No. Everybody's got to come with your posture.
Everyone
man.
had shit posture. Or
Yeah.
maybe they had better posture. I don't know.
Well, maybe they have to have better posture. And
lumbar
because
support, though.
this is stuff that you see like in Star Trek too. Like there is this kind of the way women dress are overtly what we would consider in our society sexualized, but in that society is normal. Very, very, skin is everybody's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like men are very starkly dressed, black and white, usually. And then Star Wars made it realize like, Star Wars and Alien, it's like, it's going to be a little bit more usual for things to be dirty and shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even Star Trek the Motion Picture does not fit into that post Star Wars and Alien world where like that is some Gene Roddenberry sex party look in that. But anyway, that's what this movie does in the look. And I like it, but also, you start asking questions like, how do those clothes? And I asked how Ursula Andress's clothes worked a lot. Because it shouldn't have. If she ran backwards really fast, she had one top that would come right off because there's no back to it.
It was tied around her neck.
I know, but Chuck, you can't see it under all of her hair combed in a bunch of different directions. Like she had weird whale tail thing going on in the back of her pants too. That was weird. And it's like, I don't understand how any of this works. We don't understand how posture works in this future. But we know one thing. What are the 4 rules of the game again?
All right.
We've kind of gone through one of them.
We've established, I think we've established them all.
5 is a hunter, 5 is a victim, is 1. Hunter knows everything, victim knows nothing, and the $1 million winner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, no, okay.
We've established the rules.
There you go. So that's what we know about this future.
Yeah. And we now know that Ursula Andress is on her 10th time as in the game, and this time she's finishing as a hunter, and if she kills her next victim, she is a decaton.
Yes,
and wins the $1 million.
She also gets approached by Ming T for an additional $1 million.
Yes.
To
televise her next kill.
Yes.
And to plug the Ming T product before doing so.
Yes.
Before killing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is kind of brilliant because if the Purge ever came to be a thing,
people would get
holy shit.
We would sponsors.
We would see that fucking Chevrolet EV commercial every fucking 5 minutes, just like in the World Series.
Fuck yeah, we would.
Nike would be like, just kill it.
Because
Nike would be all over
just
it.
Kill it.
I'm sure fucking Chase Bank would get in on this.
I'm not up
Capital
to date.
One.
I'm not up to date on my Purge movies, but I wonder if they've gone there yet.
I haven't seen any of the Purge movies.
I've seen a few. They're
you need to watch them all. I
do. I know. They're on my list. But again, that they're the the more modern contemporary version of the society needs a way in a peaceful society where there is no crime. Society needs a way to
let it all out.
And then we've seen movies like this throughout the ages. And one that just is popping in my head right now is Rollerball, right?
Oh, yes.
And all of those death sport games, movies are all about this, right?
Well,
you need that
Rollerball
gladiatorial thing to get your bloodlust.
Well, the whole thing with Rollerball also is there's the capitalism. There's like the owners of the teams own every aspect of their players' lives. I'm looking at you, NFL.
Yeah, not too far away.
And also, there is you have to go and be a sponsor for this.
Yep.
Sorry, James Caan.
Yep. Yep.
That's the thing.
So in the 10th victim, we haven't graduated to full on worldwide televised.
But everybody is ready for it.
Yeah. And in a few years, The Price of Peril will be written by the same author, and he's going to go there, right?
Right.
But yeah, this is on the cusp of it, and but yes, the free market is finding ways to capitalize as they will on on this sort of state-run population control, really fucking society control.
Well, also remember this, like, who would sign up for this? Why do people sign up for it?
Exactly right.
It's the money. Exactly. So
it's well, guess what? There's no more military inscription. If there's no more wars, guess what? All of those people that the government has preyed on over the years to join the military are now preying on them to join this game.
Yep. Yeah, because the rich people aren't ever going to be a target. And so they can just watch and have fun with this. They can run the clubs, and then the poor will be forced to basically kill themselves off.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's gambling on this. I'm sure there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, holy shit. I mean, FanDuel would get in on this.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God. Yes. So the betting. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, yeah. I'd have a big hunt fantasy lineup every week.
Right. Well, now who would Fox
parlay 3 kills?
Yeah.
It's like, who would Fox Sports have give away their money for their pick six, purge?
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw and David Ortiz fight over it.
Oh, boy. So good.
We got to get to Paletti, though, right?
Yes. We got to get to Paletti. Paletti is Marcello. He actually is Marcello in real life and in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is a hunter when we see him.
Yep.
And we don't know when you see Marcello, if you know Marcello, oh wow, that's the guy, right? Right. If you don't know,
they reverse it on.
If you don't know the face, you don't know the face. But yeah, if they're definitely like they kind of.
Well, they're setting up a Nazi.
They aggrandize this Nazi guy, right? You think, he's a hunter.
Baron von Douchebag. I can't remember what his last name was.
And they're at some kind of riding competition, and he's supposed to be next, and he's all dressed up like very much in a German.
He's in his SS outfit, Yeah, and he's a boots. He wants his boots.
And you see Marcello kind of kneeling down before him, messing with his feet. So he's kind of like his servant.
Yeah.
He's helping him get dressed. He puts on his shoes. Well, boots, his boots. And then the German goes to the mirror to admire himself
with his super shiny
Luger.
Yeah.
Luger. Yes. And what's he do?
He clicks his heels to go
like
home.
A Nazi.
Yeah, like a Nazi would.
And he blows the fuck up. It's the best. It's definitely the best kill in this movie.
Yes. It's the most creative kill for sure.
Which is funny because it wasn't even his idea.
No, it was his ex-wife's idea, I think, right?
It was Olga's
idea, his girlfriend.
Olga is bloodthirsty herself.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So yeah, in a movie where a boob bra killed someone, this tops it.
Yes.
Exploding shoes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, exploding boots.
So,
on a Nazi, no less.
So this is his 6th.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
He is not you would think that a typical movie, you would think the roles would be reversed.
Yeah.
That he would be going for his 10th and she is up and coming. But no, she is ahead of him. She is better than him in this too, because one of the things in the interview afterwards, people are asking him like, the exploding boots, that's kind of fun or whatever, and they ask him some questions about like his outlook on this stuff. And he's like, well, I'm just trying to stay alive basically. And it's like, oh, you're a coward. And it's like, well, no, of course I'm scared of dying.
Yeah.
And she is not. She is cold blooded.
Yeah.
And like eyes on the prize. And he is, he just wants the money. Like he is the guy who would have to go into the military because he's fucking broke probably.
Yeah, he's broke all the time.
Well, he even says at one point that he doesn't have enough money to do all of the training and all of
his defense.
Right.
He can't mount a sufficient defense.
He just has to outsmart people faster. Yeah,
he's in Hawk at the like training center that the all the Bond villains in one runs.
He's got a claw hand. He's got a fake chin. He's got
Dr. Amalgam.
Yeah, right.
He's got the metal teeth.
He's got metal teeth.
Yeah.
How many? I mean, he's before all those Bond villains too, right?
I mean, the only one that he would be. I mean, the only one who really had a thing to him was Dr. No at the time.
Yeah.
The other 3 movies that came out after that, before this one did, those villains did not have anything but money or power.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So and it's like, again, this is 100% in Mike Myers' wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, it's great.
Yeah. I'm surprised there hasn't been a character like that in Austin Powers yet.
I mean, he just took directly from the Bond series, like Frau Farbissina is Rosa Klebb from Russia with Love, and of course,
bring in the club.
you're right. And then you've got, Dr. Evil himself dresses like Dr. No.
Yeah. Donald, specifically Pleasance, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Well, he dresses a little bit like Joseph Wiseman from Dr. No, and he is
the pale face,
and the scar, and
Yeah.
the no hair. That is,
Chet.
that's Donald Pleasance.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Chet from this movie.
Yeah, Chet. Well, Chet is in this movie, and he is not particularly good at trying to convince our hero that he is actually the hunter, not.
No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
But the only reason why he begins to there's another reason why he begins to doubt himself later,
yes,
which is perfectly understandable as it turns out.
So obviously, right, Paletti becomes the hunted
Yep.
to Ursula's character. I can't remember her name right now.
It was
her fake name is Caroline.
Caroline Meredith.
Yeah.
Caroline Meredith.
Yeah.
So she has to kill him for her 10th win, the $1 million, and then the Ming T $1 million,
Right.
which is a new challenge for her because it has to be televised.
So she needs
So
to
she
make
can't
it a
just
show.
go and kill him.
Right, it's gotta be a
She
show.
has to trap him,
Right.
much like she trapped her last one.
Right.
Well, yeah, they
Right.
actually are. They're actually like scouting locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in a helicopter in Rome because that's where Marcello lives,
I want to go to there.
and they're trying to find what's the right spot. And then somebody suggests the Coliseum,
Perfect.
which is perfect.
Too many holes.
There's too many holes. The director is pissed off at the whole thing because he wants to shoot it all in a studio.
Yeah.
Right. And at one point they say, when they were talking about the Coliseum, it's like, there's too many holes. Where will the dancers set up?
Yeah.
there
That
are
wasn't
dancers.
That wasn't just a throwaway line.
No,
because there are dancers.
There are dancers. Some of them are girl dancers in interesting outfits. Some of them are teacups.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And some of them are little Asian children.
Yeah.
But they settle on the Plaza of the Venus,
Yes, I think so.
which is just outside the Coliseum and has got plenty of room for the dancers. And they can set up all of their crazy, laser cameras.
Man, their cameras are fucking great. They get that real good close up when they were like watching our guy.
Yeah, I know. They're got him on surveillance camera and they're zooming in.
I mean, and it's like a snap zoom too. Like it is.
Temple of Venus is what it's
Temple of Venus.
Yeah. But there is a plaza there.
Yeah.
All right. So then we've got our computer in Geneva who speaks computer Italian.
Computer Italian.
Randomly,
I swear to God, if this
puts them together.
again, if this was Star Trek, that machine is going to take over the planet and establish a way of life and a religion.
Yes.
And Captain Kirk's going to have to come and break the whole thing up.
Yes, probably.
The next thing that happens is Paletti is assigned as the hunted for.
It talks just like that. That
Yes.
is it. I mean,
Yeah.
it is like it's barely even like computerized. Like there's no modulation
Oh yeah, it's
really
a human
on
voice just
Yes.
reading very slowly
Right.
in a specific cadence.
right.
But then we Marcello goes to claim his prize at the Department of the Big Hunt, and it's already been claimed.
Yep.
His wife claimed his prize,
Lydia.
who he's actually been his marriage was annulled 4 days previous, so she really had no claim on his prize. But I guess
just took it.
I guess the paperwork is slow in
Yeah.
Italy.
Well, not only that, but he's not being honest to his girlfriend either
Right.
about this.
Because his girlfriend's been waiting 6 years for him to get this marriage annulled, because they live in Rome and this is actually a thing. At least it was for a long time. There was no divorce.
No divorce and
Every marriage was instituted by the Catholic Church and had to be dissolved by the Catholic Church. And annulments are a lot more difficult to come by than a divorce. Usually that costs money. because of course they do.
Gee, I wonder why the Catholic Church would be interested in that.
And a sacred council has to do it. So we have a lot of commentary on on Rome's continued, the Vatican, I should say, the Vatican's continued stranglehold, even on this supposed utopian future Italy,
and it even changes homeboy's stance on marriage again, and relationships.
Well, he's like, I don't want to get married. I'll have kids with you. Do whatever you want. But nobody gets.
I'll give you 10
Nobody
kids.
gets married in Italy. I'm not doing it again.
Right.
Yeah. But he finally got his annulment. His girlfriend, what's her name again? Olga. She
Liza Minnelli
has been waiting for this. She is like ready to get married now. And he's like, I don't really love her. I don't want to get married.
Yeah, she's like fun to hang out with, but
and now that he has no real excuse because he's no longer married, he's kind of like wants to end the relationship. But he's at home, no money. All of his possessions are being either repossessed or taken by his wife.
Right. Including the classics.
What are the classics, Jeff?
They're old comic books. By the way, this is a real thing.
Olga is really upset about
She
this
is.
too.
Well,
what are we
she
going to
should be.
read if we
Don't
can't
take
read the classics?
but I'll help you.
Yeah. But here's the thing about this. Italy loves comic books.
Interesting.
I mean, one of their longest running is Dylan Dog.
Oh yeah.
Which are phenomenally written. And they love pulp heroes, and oftentimes those are sold as comic books, and horror, mysteries, romance, not so much superhero stuff, but pulp hero type stuff. Because his favorite literary character is the Phantom.
The Phantom, yeah. There's a lot of references to the Phantom.
So much
all
Phantom
over this
all
movie.
over this.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff. I mean, this is real. I mean, Italy to this day, I wish the United States would do this, or somebody here would do this, because in Italy, for like €2.50, you get like basically 60 pages a month of a comic book. Yeah, and it's just like it's cheap, it's well written, and it's quickly drawn and written. And I mean, yeah, it's great. I wish it wasn't so expensive over here. So
interesting.
Actually, it may be 80 pages, not 64. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, Marcello misappropriates the year of a Golden Age Flash comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he says 1935.
Yeah. The Flash wasn't created until like 1940 or 41. So that's okay. We'll let it slide.
Well, I guess. Oh yeah, but he says specifically 1935.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have a Golden Age Flash, but it's not. It might, unless he said 1945.
I think he said 35.
Yeah,
unless the subtitle was wrong.
That's a bummer.
Which could be. The subtitle was wrong.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
Now, this is also French. The French love their comics too. You have Mobius, you have Valerian and Laureline.
Asterix, is that French?
I think so.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are made by people who probably really love their comic books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it feels like a comic, it's colorful like a comic. Yeah,
it really is. It plays out like a mystery comic book. Yeah.
Very, very pulpy for sure. Okay, so we've got both of our main characters, Huntress and Victim, in Rome now.
Cacciatore and Catrice.
And
Cacciatore. Cacciatore and Cacciatrice.
Yes.
There it is.
There you go.
I'm learning Italian too, Chuck. I'm with you.
Good job.
Marcello goes to the spa place. It's not quite sure. Like he needs to relax. He needs a place to think that is safe. Because he's been notified that there's a hunter.
And all of a sudden this woman is showing up.
Well, yeah, he just met her at the snack bar.
That's right. There's the whole snack bar thing
with the fucking saxophone.
The guy
that's
on
where
his
we
back
learn
playing
about the
saxophone, and
that's where the saxophone players are wonderful. That's where we learn about the rules that are different in Italy. You can't shoot at the snack bar. You can't
shoot in a restaurant. You can't shoot at a nursery school.
But yeah, so
that one seems like a given, but
not America.
Not America.
Meredith, she says she's a bored American who just wants someone to talk to.
Right, she's trying to flirt with him too.
Yeah.
And which, I mean, that's probably part of her whole success is that she's Ursula Andress.
Yes, most definitely. She uses her sex appeal, which is interesting because she later talks about how she has no real sexual drive.
No, she doesn't. And she also
She's an
was
icebox. You can count to 100 and I'm still wouldn't feel anything.
right. And she, and I think some of that is based on the fact that she doesn't have a normal family. She's from Hoboken, which is the, what was it? The artificial insemination capital of the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So she doesn't have a normal upbringing and she's cold from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a something there.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. But
which also, hang on a second.
You're fine.
So later we find out that what's the lead guy? Paletti. He has
Marcello Paletti.
Yeah, okay. We'll just call him Marcello, like the actor. So Marcello has his family hidden in the walls and he says that it was his sense of duty that bothers him, but it plays into why he may be a little bit more cautious and why he's more scared of dying and whatever. And he approaches everything quite differently than the hunter in this case, who is very cold, very calculating, very willing to use anything and every advantage that she has, which is mostly her looks and her sex appeal.
Yeah.
Even though she feels none of that. There's the dichotomy of those two characters too, which again, the more emotional one is the male. It's a total reversal.
It is a reversal. Yeah, absolutely it is. Which is also, I think, a reversal from the short story as well. Yeah. So a little bit more European sensibility, perhaps.
I don't know. Maybe it's just they're being forward thinking, where males are a little bit more sensitive in the future, whereas females are fighting for what the males had.
Yeah.
Which you could kind of say is a little bit prescient.
She also talks about how she prefers more effeminate men. They make better friends.
Yeah.
It's also, she's clearly making a reference to a homosexual man who aren't interested in her sexually. So she doesn't feel like she has to be that sexual creature that she's not.
Right. And if she's asexual, that's going to make a lot of sense.
Yep. But we learn that there's no killing in the bars, and she wants to interview him because she wants to interview him on the study the sexual preoccupations of Italian men.
Yes, which tips her hat a little bit that she's not sexually preoccupied.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But he's kind of like not really interested, and he's also probably a little suspicious. In fact, we find out later that he was suspicious from the start.
Yeah.
But he's intrigued, I think, by her as well, and he allows the game to continue.
She's Ursula Andress.
Yes.
How can you not be intrigued by her?
And this is a man
she doesn't have a back to her shirt.
This is a man who clearly has an interest, a keen interest in women. He just doesn't want to marry them.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
He enjoys the fun part of things.
Well, he enjoys the flesh.
Yeah.
The pleasures
of skin
the
armor, so
that's
she does have
true.
skin
She
armor.
does have skin armor. I don't even know what that is. But I thought for a second she might be a superhero. She might be Luke Cage.
this isn't a pulp story after all.
Yeah.
But then he goes to the weird ASMR clinic
Which seems very nice.
where a masseuse wants to give him a selection of sounds to listen to that might help calm him.
The wolf howling at the moon voice.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
The crinkle of wrapping paper, I think, was one.
No. It was the rustling of intimate clothing.
Thank you. Yes, the rustling of intimate clothing. Much better. That's fucking ASMR.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah. But it is something audibly we've always been attracted to certain things as people. I mean, so it's like
Jeff. Jeff, really explain this to us,
how's it going, guys? Oh no, you guys doing real sexy terms? Hey there, guys.
H horror.
But
guys, how's
he's
it
not
going?
interested in that. He wants a place to think. He's
He just wants to shut out everything.
right. But when he leaves, he's confronted again by Ursula Andress, and she again insists on this interview. He's a little bit more suspicious for sure, but she's not trying to kill him, right?
Yeah.
And the whole part of this game is kill your victim.
Right.
So, he's
but she can't until she takes him to
Right.
the TV show.
which is kind of her downfall. This whole thing.
But it's a wrinkle he doesn't know.
Right.
Correct.
Like he's not aware that she
has this big TV
Endorsement
opportunity
deal.
endorsement deal. Yeah. Oh yes, the downfall again of capitalism. She's wrapped up in that extra mill.
Yeah, she is.
Yep. So at this point, they drive off together, right? No, he stabs her car tire.
Yes.
He drives away. He
has popped her
popped her
tires. So he can get
tires.
away.
So she's on foot now.
Yeah.
And he goes, where the fuck
He
does
goes
he go?
to meet his attorney
Oh,
and get a
yeah.
shot in the butt cheek. We
Yeah,
don't know
like a
what.
vitamin shot or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, he gets something every day, and he rotates
Butt cheeks. Yeah,
Yeah.
his butt cheeks.
and yeah, his lawyer is kind of like the guy who helps him look into people. He tells
Yes.
him who's coming into town that's new, staying at what hotels,
If they're
are they
armed.
or not. Yeah, and he knows
Or
about
if they have a claw hand.
or if they have a claw hand.
armed.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Claw
I mean, no, right.
But he's also like the third person has commented like he's like, I pay you to take care of this stuff. He's like, you haven't paid me in weeks.
Right.
Yeah,
He's broke.
Yeah, Olga and his wife have taken
He's
his money.
busted.
So
yeah.
he's kind of getting by on favors at this point.
Yeah.
His
Well, and his friends.
defense for his
Yeah.
defense, and yeah, they're kind of you could argue that the
Well, the lawyer is definitely
lawyer's
a
his
friend.
friend. Yeah. But the lawyer's like, yeah, we've looked into this Carolyn, or I've looked into this Carolyn. I know about her. It's a TV crew, not armed. It's like they don't seem to be who you're looking for.
Right. Or he talks
But
about
he's like, well,
two
they're the only
other
one that's
Chinese
following
guys
me.
that are there, Mexican guys or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Mexican
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, there are a couple of Mexican guys that are.
But she is the only one following him, right?
Right.
And
So
that's
he's
just
pretty suspicious. He
Yeah.
keeps kind of like noodling on that. But so he's doing his due diligence regardless. And I think at this point, does he go to his wife's house? Or he meets up with Ursula Andress again.
he meets up with her and he's like, I'll tell you what, if you advance me,
Yeah.
I'll go and do your interview at the
Temple
Venus de
of the
Milo.
Venus, yeah.
At the Venus de Milo. The gummy Venus
and
de Milo.
she gives him $500 up front.
Yes. And she's
For
like,
this
yeah,
interview.
I'll give you whatever you want. You just have to come here. And it's like, you really want to go to that place.
Yeah.
That's suspect. But yeah, so he's like, okay, but I got to go someplace. And she's like, where are you taking me? And it's like, oh, it's my wife's house. And because he's going to go and get his winnings. That's what he wants. He's trying to like bust the safe.
Yeah.
And then that's where we find out that his wife has sheep and statues of people playing pinball.
Well, he
Yes.
built the place, he said, so those are his.
Oh, those are his.
Well,
who's
maybe
feeding
those
the
are
sheep?
decorations.
Yeah.
Well, but the sheep aren't decorations. Those are live things.
Right.
Who's feeding those
Somebody had to buy those and
things? Yeah.
keep up with those. Yeah.
And shear them.
Yeah.
The sheep are hard work.
I don't see Lydia doing that. She doesn't seem like the sheep shearing type.
Maybe it's his parents.
She's the creepiest person in this whole
She
movie. by a
is.
lot.
She is.
She has no eyebrows.
She has no eyebrows.
But she looks murderous.
yeah.
Yeah, she looks crazy. And he even calls her crazy later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he calls her
I
crazy.
mean, I'd want an annulment too.
She seems scary.
Yeah.
But it's weird that he takes Ursula to his wife's house to make his advance on her.
Yeah.
Like, why go to your wife's house?
Well, yeah,
and
because
do
she,
this?
they
maybe
get an
because Lydia is at
aphrodisiac.
his place.
Maybe.
He doesn't have any money.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that
Well, he
Olga's
wants-
at his place, not Lydia.
I mean, Olga. Yeah.
Well,
God, I get
Lydia's
them
not
mixed up.
home, man. You take what you get when you're ready to go.
But we find out a few things here. Olga and Lydia are friends.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Which is weird. Like, Olga spends a lot of time with Lydia when Marcello's not around.
And Lydia thinks it's endearing that Olga wants to marry him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Lydia is the one who told Olga that the annulment went through.
And Lydia is somewhat friendly to Ursula
Meredith?
Andress,
Yeah.
to Meredith.
Yeah.
And so, like, maybe she's a swinger or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the 60s, man.
But she
I mean,
seems
well, we
like
don't
another
know.
cold.
Well,
don't-
I know, but it's
yeah.
Austin Power 60s.
Sure.
She seems like another cold woman. Really, like
Yeah.
she has
ma-
no emotion almost.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or she doesn't have the same types of.
She doesn't have the same
Emotion.
drive that Paletti does. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Yeah.
But then we've got Ursula in this shooting gallery room. where this like laser tag system is set up, and she's shooting at these electronic targets, and then she sees 2 electronic targets on the wall that she shoots, and when she does, it opens up the door, and behind it are 2 old people having tea in like this living room. And it turns out that these 2 old people are Marcello's parents, and he's been hiding them, as all people do in Italy.
Everyone does in Italy.
Rather than turning them over to the Elderly Collection Center.
The ECC.
The old ECC. Is
I mean, they don't want to go to the. They don't want to go to the death ASMR that Edward G. Robinson goes to.
Yeah,
in
they don't want to become Soylent Green. Exactly. Yeah.
Wild.
Maybe Soylent Green saw a little bit of this and was like, we like this idea. I don't know. That's
but then this is where Ursula Andress says something to the point of you must really love your parents, and he's like, not really, it's the sense of duty that bothers me, that concerns me, so yeah,
right. He is almost you could almost say he's a little bit of a Ronin in that sense, where he's like, he's out for himself,
right?
That's it. But then he's also kind of sensitive to some stuff too.
He also realizes that his parents still make him beholden to his wife, his ex-wife, because she's the one paying for their upkeep.
Care.
For their care, and she's like, and it's no insignificant expense, she says.
Well, no, they're 2 old people. They're 2 adults. It's not going to be cheap.
But then we kind of skipped the part at the beach too, which we should kind of talk about.
Oh, we definitely should talk about that.
But he basically, after
the beach.
After Lydia finds Meredith and Paletti making out, he leaves her there.
Yeah.
Right. Olga shows up and he leaves.
Right. He's like, fuck this. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out of here. All 3 women are here. I am out of here.
Yeah. It's like, I can't deal with all of these women.
Because he was supposed to go to the Temple of Venus with her after the stop, but instead.
Right. He leaves her.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why they get together in the first place is the beach.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know.
I don't even know what's going on here.
But he goes to the beach and he takes a nap, and at sundown, he dons a robe. And he becomes the leader of the Sunsetters.
The Sunsetters, yeah.
Right, which is a group of people who basically praise the sun going down and
then waits for it to come back up.
Yeah,
it's like an acceptance of death and a rebirth. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
He started this cult, basically, when he became a hunter.
Because it's 20% of his
It's
income.
20% of his income. Yeah.
yeah, he's an entrepreneur. He's always trying to come up with ideas for money.
Well, yeah, because he says something about, it's like, I don't know the next thing I want
I don't
to
have any more
invent.
ideas for invent to make money. He also
But the neo-realists don't like the
neo-realists.
Yeah.
Who are these people?
So they're like some kind of
they're like atheists or something.
It's interesting because you wonder about this society. It's definitely a capitalist society, but it has a sense of socialist to it as well.
Yeah.
And neorealism is really kind of like ultra capitalist. It's like the essence of society should be competition.
Right. It's like, oh, you don't have any money, get a better job.
Right. So they're angry at the Sunsetters for some reason because the Sunsetters have this more simplistic, peaceful view of the world.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny too because he's standing and there's these plastic panes behind him, and you're like, oh, this is just futuristic. You know, they're trying to look futuristic or whatever, but it's really to stop all the tomatoes they throw at him.
Right. Yeah, they got these like plexiglass shields up.
Yeah. But he's crying. She cries, and it's funny. She asks him about it. Like he asks her, like, "Oh, what you're crying? Is this your first sunset?" She's like, "Well, you're crying too." And he's like, "Oh, I took tear whatever pills to make him cry."
Yeah.
Which is, I think he lies a lot in this movie about his emotional aspects.
Yeah.
Like every time something affects him emotionally, his parents. Yeah. Right, you know it's not duty.
He dismisses it.
Yeah, he dismisses it.
Right,
crying about the sun, he dismisses it. So he's trying not to be
as
emotional as he is.
It's hard to say. I don't think they ever really answer that question definitively. In fact, they keep pointing you away from it. Right? When we really find out in the end, it's kind of
Well, he's a hopeless romantic.
But he's also like captive again.
Yeah. But
He allows himself to be caught in a different way, I guess.
Well, but it's almost like he is, in this ultra capital. I mean, he's operating as this kind of sensitive person within this kind of very cold, society or whatever.
Right, where you have to dismiss feelings to get ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm going to hunt this person. I'm going to end somebody's life, but I can't. That's sorry. It's like it's me or you.
And I wondered if those shots he was taking, you said vitamin, like, to me, I was like, these are suppressing his emotions. But we don't know.
That was right before the beach.
It could have been what makes him cry. Yeah. The tear inducement medicine. Yeah.
And maybe makes him a little high to like kind of speak in flowery terms.
Right. It jugs him up a little bit. Yeah.
But the people throwing chucking the tomatoes at him is just fucking great.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, and it's like, and then that's the first of only really 2 times that you actually see true pure emotion from her.
Yeah.
Because the other time is after she thinks she's completed the decaton.
Yes.
Which we'll get to eventually here.
Yeah.
So he leaves his ex-wife's house. He's like, fuck all these crazy women. And he goes to the Temple of Venus. He's actually kind of pre-scouting things out because he's still very suspicious. So he goes and he starts talking to the producers and the production crew. He's like, so what's going on here? And they're doing their best to tell the right cover story. But clearly they're like, oh shit, he's here and she's not. What do we do, right?
Yeah, and he's like, well, if she's not ready, you could just, take the advance money back and I'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, no,
stick around.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm going to go to the hunt club.
Yeah. It's like, have her meet me at the hunt club.
Now he is on it.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And, so he tells his lawyer buddy, it's like, get an alligator, get a crocodile. And we're gonna kill her here, but we can't shoot her.
Is it Cola 8 or Coco 8 or something? He gets.
You always win with Coco.
You always win with Coco 8. So he gets himself a new sponsor, his own sponsor.
He calls somebody. It's like there's a television thing. So and his lawyer's like,
that's all going right now.
He's like, that's bloody brilliant.
Yeah,
we got to do our own thing.
Yeah,
I know a guy. And he calls and it's like, I don't know. I don't like the idea of shooting a woman or killing a woman.
He's like, I've always been interested in the thought of entertaining by killing humans or something like that. Yes, but I don't know about the woman angle.
And it's like, well, it's in this season. Killing women, sacrificing women is in this season.
Like, people don't care. They just want to see people die.
I've always been fascinated by killing
killing for entertainment or something like that. Yeah, and so they finally get him get him on board, and he brings in this crocodile.
Yeah, set up the plan because his plan is hilarious.
So the plan. So if he's going to trap her at the hunt club, he can't shoot her.
Yeah,
it's not allowed in Italy.
Right,
but he can kill her in other ways. So they've got a pool at the hunt club. The crocodile can swim real fast.
Yeah, like 60 kilometers a second or something.
Whatever it is, it's real fast. It's like, okay, great. Is it hungry? Yes. Oh boy, here we go. How are we going to get her in the water? It's like, because we're not going to put the crocodile in the water until it's go time, until she's in the water. But how are you going to get her in the water? You can't push her in the water. That's weird. So, okay, well, she must sit at this exact little trampoline.
Yeah.
So, hey, Bob, come over here and show him this. And he's like, the crocodile's not in the water yet. It's like, no, the crocodile's nowhere near here. Don't worry about it, Bob. So he sits Bob down on the seat. He's like, okay, come over here to this big flower pot.
Push this button.
And it flings the guy into the water.
Like, perfect plan.
Then we're going to let the crocodile, she's not going to be able to swim away from the crocodile.
The crocodile has another special thing about it, which kills me. It's hilarious. It's the only crocodile that doesn't cry.
After he eats.
After he eats.
Yeah.
Which is the crocodile tears.
Right. Right. Which could be what she was doing too earlier.
Well, that's what they're saying. Like, yes, I think it's a comment on that because crocodile tears are insincere.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly is a comment on him.
Yes.
With his cult.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, well, this sounds great, and I'm looking forward to somebody getting dumped in the pool. Now, my only complaint about this movie
that doesn't happen.
the crocodile gets nobody.
I know there's no crocodile feast. They should have gotten somebody. Yeah,
the producer of the other show or something. You know, I don't know. Rudy's a problem coming up here.
Yeah, he's coming right now.
He's coming right now, and he is ready.
Yeah, so
he is going to linger until he gets his shot.
Meredith has hired a young, attractive man basically to make Marcello jealous.
Yeah,
who is less interesting, but at least he's going to be. She's
also hired someone to take a shot at him. Chet to take a shot at him to make him think that someone else is hunting him.
Yeah.
But Marcello's too smart for that. He's like, no, that's a ruse. A hunter at that close range wouldn't miss.
Right.
It's like, I'm supposed to follow that guy, but I'm not going to.
Which I like the lawyer buddy is like, I'm never going out with you again.
But yeah, I already knew he was hunted, attorney. You probably shouldn't have gone out with him anyway.
Right.
Yeah, friendly fire and such.
But then, yeah, she then goes to further lengths to convince him that she's not his hunter by flashing Rudy, telling him, well, I'm going to interview Rudy. Rudy is my new subject. You know, I'm all about Rudy now. Forget you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm leaving with Rudy.
It's so childish, but it's perfect.
It is. He's like, well, shit. Now I'm wondering, what's the deal? You know,
and then because at this point he's like, he tells his lawyers like, you have to find out because I'm facing 30 years. Now.
Right. He's like, I think he thinks it's a 50-50 at this point. Right. And he doesn't want to risk it. Yeah.
And he kind of likes her.
Yeah, he does. He's kind of like, well, if I don't have to kill her, maybe I can fuck her.
Yeah. Well, the attorney's like, I've been watching you. You need to be careful. You're falling in love.
Both of you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, Italians know their business with love, right?
Of course.
That's amore.
World's
like, that's
greatest
amore.
lovers.
Yeah,
That's
right.
amore.
There's a whole song
In Italian.
about pizza.
Yeah, hitting
When
your
it hits your eye.
I know last time that I've really felt like I was in love was right after a pizza was thrown at my face.
Yeah. Were you at that game in Boston when the guy threw a pizza at him?
The pizzer.
He threw a pizza at him. I'm so glad
that guy found love.
Yes,
so
he did.
yeah, he did. He found love that night.
He was like, now that we found love, what are we going to do with it?
I know. You're gonna eat more pizza.
Well, we're gonna go to the beach. Is what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
oh boy. Yeah, nothing like going to a cold Boston beach.
So yeah, 'cause his plan doesn't work. He can't get her to the pool. She goes to the beach and he follows her. Right? Is that how that happens?
I don't know. Smash cut to her in the water.
Yeah, and he's
in her
there.
dress.
He like follows her or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, it doesn't matter. They're gonna roll around.
They're gonna roll around in the sand, get sand everywhere.
Oh my god! So
stuck in all sorts of places. Yeah.
So annoying. Gets everywhere.
And then they make their way to this sort of like beach hut.
It's where he sleeps before he does the sunsetter thing.
Oh yeah.
I forget what it's called, but
that's right, because it's the same beach because it's still got all the chairs.
Yeah, they go to that spot.
Yeah, because nobody has cleaned up the chairs. It's like there's no beach. There's just chairs.
They're just there, like through low tide and high tide. They're just there.
Right.
And he goes to his hut. They go to the hut. She drugs him. She doesn't have sex with him.
No, I think they do. And then when she wakes up in the morning,
I think they. I had the impression they did.
All right,
because she drugs him so he sleeps longer. She takes all his guns, dismantles them.
Yeah, has one under the mattress because of course he does.
Hands them to the production crew of the thing, and then they bring in a crane and move his hut to the Temple of Venus.
Yes, it seems like they're just gonna shoot it here, right? Nope. They got to bring him to the Temple of Venus because they're fucking set on that location.
Yeah.
Should we talk?
That's where the dancers are.
Yeah, the dancers.
Right. The dancers can't come to the beach. That sand is going to mess up their steps.
But we need to talk about Tommaso.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about. Tommaso is a robot?
Yes. I think
pet?
so.
Robot.
Pet.
Cyborg?
Sentient, maybe. Maybe
well,
not.
I mean, it can take directions.
Yeah.
It's got a little microphone at the front of it, so he can talk to it, and it gives him little
massages.
With little doll hands.
It's very crudely put together. Yeah,
it's like part crab, or crab, or
it's like
wasp,
it's like a what's that called? A
exoskeleton.
No, it's a
Arthropod.
it's the big butt part of a
Thorax.
Thorax.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's got a
I'm just gonna
thorax.
keep throwing out
It's
words
got
until I get
it's
it.
got a little like chair wheel on the back of it. You know those skinny chair wheels, but it's a little tiny and it's off center, and
It creaks.
it's what helps it. I think probably turn 360 degrees, but it's
I
real,
kind of feel
it's
sorry
real
for that
creaky
thing.
and wobbly.
Yeah, that thing probably needs to be put down.
I think it's a literal representation of Paletti. I'm joking. But he's kind of like this.
I think it needs to be Old Yeller.
I would really like to know who in the art direction made it and why they made it that way.
And does it work? Is it real? Is it still alive?
Is it still,
where are you at,
it
Thomaso?
sentient? Thomaso, where are you? Well, Thomaso,
I still think you need to be put down, but where are you at, buddy? Are you doing okay?
turns out Thomaso's got
Packing heat?
a gun. Yeah, packing
heat in his thorax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Marcello tells Ursula, he's like, open up Thomaso there. Just open him up. What do you see?
This is how he's showing her that she can trust him.
right.
Yes.
But it's also a trick.
It's a trick.
So she takes the gun out of Thomaso.
They lift the top of
They lift the top, and he's sitting in the temple, or the temple of Venus, right? And there's dancers everywhere, and he is so amazed.
He's elated.
He's elated. It's like, this is gonna be the best way to die. it's like, you're amazing. I can't believe you pulled this off.
It's the first time he looks truly happy in the whole movie.
Yep.
Oh, he is giggling, and he is like he is doing everything asked of him. Say the slogan, and he says the
He's
slogan.
like, sure, I'll say it.
Yeah, bring it on.
He's playing along
He tells
perfectly.
the dancers to move over so he can be on camera like he's supposed to be.
You're in the
Move
way.
over just a little bit.
I'm like kissing him. He's like, just move over a little bit. Can't see.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And she pulls the gun out, and she hesitates.
And the director's like, shoot him, shoot him.
And they
shoot him.
keep
It's like,
prodding her to say the line, say the line. She says the line, and she shoots. And Marcello hits the ground, clutches his bloodless chest,
his bloodless chest.
and falls to the ground. And everyone's so excited. It's like, we got it, we got it. And the cups of tea are dancing behind them.
Yeah.
Decaton.
But not on camera, I don't think. It's
No,
really weird.
there's no camera pointed at the tea. At the teacups.
Decaton, she's the Decaton. Everybody's cheering. And then they go to look at the body. And it's gone.
It's gone.
And Ursula has walked off,
Crying.
and turns out she walks, and there's Marcello sitting on some uncomfortable furniture, I think, and
Always.
and she's surprised and shocked and realizes that the gun. He's like, you're foolish to trust someone else's gun. It's like, I have blanks in it. Ba-ba-ba.
And then he says,
Dramatic reading is great.
and then he says she forgot to take her double dose of Ming tea.
Right.
Yes.
So because he
has pulled
embraces her,
Yeah.
you think she at this point is like, "What? I love you," and he's like, "I don't believe that anymore. You tried to kill me, right?"
Yeah.
It's like you failed the test essentially, and he pulls her in. They hug and they're gonna kiss, and he shoots her,
Yep.
and she falls and grabs her bloodless chest,
Yep.
Stomach. Tummy.
tummy. This time.
Bloodless
That's right,
tummy.
bloodless tummy. And he walks off, and he throws. Everybody's cheering. Yeah, he's like,
somebody's like, the gun,
It's
the
like
gun.
a sporting event. The
Yeah,
guy
it's like a
throwing his
baseball.
uniform
throws
into
the
the
gun
Yeah.
like a baseball to the crowd. It's fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's like two guys who go for it. Like it's like this is a souvenir, guys.
And they were both like, she was legit sad she had to kill him. He's now legit sad that he had to kill her.
Yep.
They both got an extra $1 million for Ming T, theoretically.
right.
They might,
Right.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we don't
the
know.
Courts will have to work that out.
Yeah. So he's sitting on a step and she comes out with a shotgun.
And just blowing away.
Starts firing at
And
him.
he's like, oh, you got me. I'm at your mercy. Like,
This shotgun can hold 100 bullets.
well, is it a rifle or a shotgun? It's a weird
Whatever
gun.
it is, it's got a lot of bullets
Yeah,
in
it's,
it.
yeah.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like a cap gun.
Yeah.
It just keeps cycling through.
Like you.
Yeah, it's like that.
So they're fighting over the gun, kind of look disinterested in killing each other, but are definitely like kind of angry at each other. So they're wrestling. And then Lydia and Olga show up. And they are interested in killing
them both.
Well, Olga,
Yeah.
He told Olga, because there's a whole conversation between Ursula Andress and Pepperoni. What's his name?
Marcello Portelli?
Whatever, Marcello. And she's like, you never tell the truth. Well, I don't know, something Italian. Italian sausage, I don't know. Anyway, and she's like, you never tell the truth to anybody. You always run from the truth. He's like, oh, well, I blush when I tell the truth.
Yeah.
But you want to hear some truth? He goes and he pulls over to a futuristic little telephone booth, which I thought for a second it might end up being a time machine. I didn't know.
I mean, why not?
Why not at this point? And he boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. He calls up Olga and he's like, yeah, hey, how's it going? She's like, I've been looking for you all day. Where you at? And he's like, yeah, I'm, whatever. I'm not going to marry you. Fuck off. Get fucked.
Yeah.
And she's like, man, it's like, there
will be bloodshed. There will be bloodshed. And she ain't lying.
And she ain't lying.
She comes out like Carrie Fisher with the flamethrower.
Right. And she's ready to kill.
Yeah.
And so and her buddy, the other woman in Marcello's life, is also there.
But apparently this has all just been a big setup upon a setup upon a setup, because
this was probably worked out
with the ladies when they left. Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, he's not going to marry either of you. He's going to fucking marry me. So what she does is she's like, come on, we have to escape in this neon green Jeep that keeps showing up in the movie.
Yes, it's anywhere you need it to be.
I'm anywhere you want to be.
It's a Jeepio.
That's a Visa, right? It's everywhere you want to be. Sorry, I messed that up. Go ahead. Continue. They get
they get on the Jeep. They go to the airport. And I love when there's a Pan Am plane and things. It's Yeah, it's the best. And they drive right onto the tarmac, and they get on this Pan Am plane.
And it takes off.
And it takes off into the air. It's like, holy shit, that was a great escape. How do we do that? That was amazing.
That's great.
And then something curious is happening. There is
something curious happens every 5 fucking seconds in this movie, Jason.
Yes. But perhaps the last curious thing happens.
No, it is not the last curious thing.
That's true. It's not. There is a much more curious thing that I find inexplicable that happens at the end. but there's a priest on board this plane, and it keeps going from row to row, aisle by aisle here, and it's marrying people.
It's a marriage plane.
It's a marriage plane, and that's what Marcello says. It's a marriage plane. Just says it matter-of-factly. It's like, I guess we found ourselves on a marriage plane. And she's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
They finally get to them, and the priest starts saying their names and doing the rites of marriage. How do they know their
fucking names?
And he's like, did you set this whole thing up? He's pissed. He's like, I don't want to get married. You know how I feel about it. And she's like, what are you going to do? And he's like, he tells the priest, I'm not getting married. He's like, too bad. You're here.
He's like, yeah, that's not the right decision.
This is what's happening.
I have a gun under this pillow. So.
It's a fucking flare gun.
Yeah, flare gun wedding.
It's a flare gun. It's a flower gun.
Yeah. So
I saw that.
Flower gun. But he marries him, and then he pulls the gun on him. And I assume he's just supposed to say "I do" at that point. It's like,
but whatever, yeah. And then
it fires flowers out of it.
He's like, why would you go and ruin a good relationship with marriage?
Yes,
which I guess is the whole point of this movie.
Hey, man, free love.
Who knows? But
who knows?
They drive it home pretty heavily at the end there.
He becomes another captive husband.
He's kept.
Yeah.
Which is not typically the man's.
And she finds love, which she was thought to be incapable of.
Well, and again, it's the whole reversal of the thing. He is the prize to be won.
Right.
Not her, not through him. It's through her that he is.
I love that they have like this mutually assured, well, not even mutually assured destruction, but they're technically still in the game.
Yeah.
They could fly off to wherever, but they're still in the game.
Well,
at any point in time, one could kill the other and be
it'd be legal.
It'd be a legal kill. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I guess might as well get married at that point.
Right. There's definitely something to comment on there.
Yeah.
Because like imagine being married to someone in like a trusting relationship where at any time you could legally kill the other one.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Wild.
But that's the movie. That's it. That's how it ends. They get married on a plane.
What did you say in this scene, there was something you wanted Hollywood to do.
I think they should remake this movie. And this is the type of movie that George Clooney and Julia Roberts should be remaking, not whatever the fuck stupid movie they're making that we've already seen a million times that just came out. Remake this. This would have been a great, before they started hitting each other, this would have been a great Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie vehicle.
Yeah,
right?
instead of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they could have done the 10th victim. Yeah.
Because, I mean, really, this movie hasn't been made again. It really hasn't. Like the 10th victim, or the 7th victim, if you will, and all of the hundreds of pseudo adaptations of the source material going back to the Most Dangerous Game, this is really kind of unique.
And this is also ripe for using like the socio-political, I don't know if that's the right word, but a political voice where people couldn't complain and say, why do they have to politicize everything?
Right.
Like, well, have you watched the original?
Yeah.
It's all commentary on social and political.
And you can commentate on everything in a vehicle like this. It's equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, if you do it kind of like The Boys, the people you're satirizing are not going to get it.
Right.
But Chuck, I'm sorry to say that people do not know source material. So
well, I mean, they have no leg to stand on. At least they
don't have a leg to stand on, but they still claim they know it.
Well, whatever. It's not a good argument.
One of the ones, one of the films that I think comes closest to this,
X versus Sever.
No,
what the fuck was that movie? I never saw that
Series
movie.
7, The Contenders. Did you ever see that one?
No.
That it had the woman who was in the pit with the basket and the lotion and
oh wow,
Silence of the Lambs.
The senator's daughter.
Yeah, she was the lead,
Wow.
and it concerned a game show where you were voluntary participants and you had to kill one another. It didn't go into quite as much detail as this with the rules and everything, if I remember correctly. And it didn't have like that romantic aspect so much, but it did have a romantic aspect that was kind of outside the game. But it's great. It's really, it really was kind of came out right at the boom, at the very beginning of the whole new reality show craze. Like it came out right around the time of the first season of Survivor. It was kind of very foretelling of this really recent phenomenon.
Well, I mean, but also,
and it was like television. It was, it's probably more Prize of Peril, but it was, it's a television show, and it has like all the television graphics and the sensationalism of it.
It probably just was somebody who knew that England had all those game shows before we did.
Yeah,
like Big Brother.
Sure.
And,
it definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway. They should be remade. I think. Fuck. I mean, remake it as a comedy too.
Hey,
I mean, why not Mike Myers make this? Just stay out of it. Just stay out of the movie. Play one person.
He could play Chet.
He could play Chet.
Yep.
He could play
Chet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, guys, why don't we do it?
Oh, we want to remake the 10th victim?
We'll write it. And we sell it like for $10.
One for each victim.
The $10. Yeah. We could do it. We could type it up and get somebody mail it off to Mike Myers.
Yeah,
sure. Here you go, Mike. Punch it up.
It could be really good. I mean, there's a lot of fodder to use.
There really is.
Yep.
A lot of mutter and fodder.
But anyway, that's
right.
10th Victim. Pretty fun, right? It's a fun fucking movie.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yep.
But it was an enjoyable watch. It's a fun. Well, there's a lot of Spitfire dialogue in this too, which also makes it really difficult.
When you're reading subtitles, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if maybe some of the commentary we only landed on since because we read it and it's stuck in our head, and then we got to it later.
Yeah,
but not at the moment. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit.
Was it Italian enough for you?
No, it's right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I mean, again, this intersectional interest here.
Yeah.
Most Dangerous Game, James Bond,
Italy.
Yeah. Just Italy. Just all of Italy.
Yeah, I love all of Italy.
All of it.
Is this do we have one more this year?
We do.
Oh yeah, it's a big one.
It's so we got some pretty good feedback on our horror tropes discussion.
I saw that. That was nice.
People seem to dig that.
It's a little new.
A little new, something that we can talk about, that we can just kind of ramble on about for a little bit. So we're going to do it again. to close out the year. And this is going to look back at 1997, 25 years ago. God,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy.
That's sad. That's real
97.
sad.
That was my high school senior year. So yeah, it makes me feel really old.
I was, working away at a video store, watching Universal Classic Monster movies during the afternoon.
Slaving away.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna probably primarily focus on the big stuff, and maybe there might be something that one of us will like, oh, that movie came out that year, it's like, I remember really liking it, and but we might talk specifically about like some of the award contenders.
Yeah.
Reordering Oscars.
Yeah, or just and whatever else.
We're gonna give out the seizures for 1997.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Bring your spoon.
I'm gonna cough.
Get him a spoon.
Get him a spoon.
give me a drink of water. I'm gonna come some Cola 8. But we're going to look at 1997 as a whole, specifically the Academy Awards, and maybe redistribute who we think were the more deserving winners, reaffirm the ones that did win if we agree.
Well, I mean, 11 of them were Titanic, so we're going to be picking through some of those.
Bringing maybe some that didn't even get a nod.
Well, Boogie Nights is going to be probably discussed.
Don't
it will be discussed.
Well, no, I'm just saying we're probably going to discuss it because that was the big snub.
Talk
of
about
year.
the snubs for sure.
That was a big snub that he had.
Well, he wasn't packing a snub nose. Let's put it that way. No. Boy. Anyway, so that's So this is 1997 in film. I don't remember exactly what I called it. Or something like that. So another one of our discussions. And by then we will know what we're doing in January. We haven't really gotten that far yet. We're just kind of we're leaves in the wind.
Indeed. But we'll have it for you regardless.
Well, yeah, we'll have something for you. Whatever. So yes, follow us: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can go to SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify. You can find us at those places. YouTube. That's where you can listen to us. You can put some ear holes on our mouth holes.
Please.
Yikes.
Please do that.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about some ASMR. Anyway. This weekend is Christmas. So first of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that stuff from Film Seizure. But for B-Movie Anima, to celebrate Christmas, I thought, well, what's something that a lot of people get at Christmas time? Dolls. Girls get dolls at Christmas time.
They get their own Tomaso.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe a little less creepy.
Yeah.
And yeah, but dolls. So for B-Movie Anima this Friday morning, I'm going to talk about Dolly Dearest.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Little horror movie, totally going off of some Child's Play business.
Yep.
So there's that. This upcoming Monday, the final Monster Mondays for 2022, Universal Classic. The Spanish version of Dracula, what most people consider to be an overall better production, if only Bela Lugosi was in this one. Mm-hmm. It would be the classic, the one that would be remembered. So that is this Monday. Again, bmovieanima.com for my B-Movie Anima stuff, but for anything Film Seizure Monster Mondays, go to filmseizure.com. You'll find all the places to follow us there. So until then, I think we've wrapped things up here, right? We've wrapped it up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So until then, everybody have a great holiday. Have a great Christmas, all of that good stuff. Have a good Boxing Day for those countries that do that. But until then, I am Jeff Arbuckle.
I'm Carlo Dupuy.
I don't get that one. And I'm Jason Oliver. And you have been listening to Film Seizure.